Hello, everyone. Thank you all so very much for joining us again. Today, we're going to be recapping season two, episodes 1 through 3 of The Wheel of Time. So let's get straight into it. First question: will Moraine get her powers back?
Mm.
What are your thoughts?
I think there has to be some type of divine healing that goes on between them that can get it back. I don't believe that. I think although he was strong enough to strip it, I don't think it was a permanent strip.
Okay. Um, so I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So actually, 100% of what you said. So much so that I happen to know that she will get her power back. Not only will she get her power back, originally when she gets her power back, according to the books, um, she won't be as powerful
Mm.
as before. However, later on, she's gonna get. I'm gonna call it an amulet because I don't remember the actual word for it, but it's gonna make her even more powerful than she is right now. And at that particular point in time, in the Wheel of Time, she was the most powerful Sedai there was.
Oh.
So she's gonna become even more powerful than she is right now.
Oh. So eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I don't know if it's gonna be this season or future seasons, but eventually, yes. Not only will she get her power back, but she'll become even more powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of witchery going on here that I'm enjoying. A lot of witchery.
So okay. So what about it do you enjoy?
I like that. At first, okay, so initially when I saw the little streams of light, I was like, because I just felt like it was a little weak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was like these little lights, but then I get into like the land that they're in, and they got all these goobly gobbly, gu- you know,
Trollocs.
trollocs and goobly goblins. They have them, so I'm like, you got to get sucked into that too, Erica. You can't get mad, You can't get
Okay.
mad 'cause that got little flashes of light, but then the light makes sense compared to the darkness. So I was like, okay, so it feeds into the whole light of all their source of power and everything like that, and what they're supposed to stand for.
Okay. And so what do you think of Moraine as a character?
I hate a sneaky bitch, like I do, but I like her character so far because it seems so necessary for her to play so close to the chest.
Hmm.
But it makes me like wonder what made her. Was it something like did going blue make you quiet? Becoming one of the blue, how do you pronounce it?
Aes
Isa.
Sedai. Hmm.
Yeah, is being a part of the blue faction of the Aes Sedai what makes you sneaky, or were you
Nah.
sneaky and that's why you're blue?
Nah. So what I hear you saying is basically you want some backstory
Yeah.
into why her character is the way that she is. So the Amerlin seat, the woman who's over all the Aes Sedai, the
Hmm.
two, she and the Amerlin seat were really close. They were there when the previous Amerlin seat died. Before she died, she had a vision, and her vision was basically that Rand has been born, and not only has he been born, but he's the dragon reborn. And so the two of them, not you've got to realize that at that particular point in time, the two of them were not. I'm not going to say really young, but they were, let's say, younger than 19. So they're making life altering decisions in that moment. They knew that the black chick, the Aes Sedai, the one who
The
becomes the
queen.
Amulet Seat, the queen. Yeah, they knew that she was going to become the queen, but they also knew that they couldn't tell anybody else because no one else would believe it because they were the only two there when she had the vision, and so they decided amongst the two of them that they were going to set some things in motion.
Hmm. Well, I understood that. I just she's so good at it. Was she sneaky like that before?
That part I don't know. I can tell you this that she was um she's a noble woman, right?
Mm,
So she was born into secrecy and playing games and things like that. So she understood how things worked and she used it to her advantage.
okay, that's good to know.
Will Lan and Nynaeve have a fairy tale ending?
No,
You don't think so?
I think that I love Nani. First of all, but you want somebody else war, baby. Like, whatever his original Aes Sedai put on him, you know what I'm saying? He say she don't own me, but yeah, that can control you. I understand Nani though. I understand Nani. I understand Nani. Like she distracted. She just trying to see something. You know, she really just trying to see something. She ain't mad. Well, she is mad. She let me show. But she just been trying to see something. And ever since she done seen a little bit of something, she been saying about something. That's why you can't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't go chase.
You got to stick to them rivers and them lakes. Because that was a waterfall. With your little heart. Look, I understand, child. I understand. Nani. Nani say, I'm just trying to see something. I know you've been trying to see something. You was tracking it.
Oh yeah.
No, she was tracking. Nani was trying to see, well, who is that? Where he going? Oh, wards belong to the Aes Sedai. Sound like a little hate in your heart. Sound like a little hate in your heart. What kind of confident Aes Sedai foolishness is this? I said, I just don't even know if I could be that kind of woman. I don't know if I got that kind of confidence. Let him go flock freely. You will let land just go frolic. Seem like she from the last season, she a little jealous too though.
Of who?
Not jealous of anybody, like as in just like she know he done been tainted, he done been in the streets.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
it kind of seemed like
Okay.
she even blocked him off. She seemed like she don't even care. Didn't she just like let him go?
When you say she, who are you talking about?
The Moraine.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I just wanted to make certain.
Seemed like
Okay.
she let Land go. And now he tripping.
Okay. Well, yes, she is letting him go. She's letting him go for at least two specific reasons.
Well, he tripping on all of. He tripping
Well,
on all the reasons.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you want to get into it or?
Sure. Cause
So
I'm
she,
like, she let him go out here and live freely. Now she not now he trying to come home, and it kind of seemed like she like, no, you free, you free, gonna be free now, gonna be free. And it's like, hold on, Moraine, you was free too though.
so okay, so okay, so the two reasons that she is quote unquote letting him go is because number one, she has to do some things that she herself would not want to do, and she knows that Land will stop her.
Mm,
So she can't have him around because she has to, and also having him around means that she also has to think about him, right? So an Aes Sedai part of her job is to keep him safe as well, right?
mm,
But if she is walking into harm's way, she no longer has to think about him. She only has to think about herself and Rand. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, um, she sees that he's attracted to Nynaeve, and she also sees that Nynaeve is attracted to Land. So to her, it makes sense to let him go to break the bond.
hmm. Go ahead. Moran say, "Go ahead. I got to go save y'all anyway."
All right, next. Will Egwene become a green Aja?
Egwene is strong, right? It looked like she look up to the other green Aja.
Well, yeah, she does. I will say this: that particular green Aja is someone. It's just one of her teachers, right? And so
I
that's
like
why.
that lady. That's my favorite character.
Who, the green Aja?
Mm-hmm.
Because she got two men.
Mm-hmm. I said, oh my, what is going on? This is some interesting stuff right here. This is interesting. You know, she might have a point. Just don't shoot the messenger. I'm saying the whole idea.
I love the concept.
The concept ain't bad. Like, girl, why have one when you can have two? Did the other one think that?
She actually has three. She has three.
Okay,
In the book, she has three. On the TV show, she only has two. But in the
they
book,
said
she
it's
has
gonna
three.
be too much fun. Gonna put one of them back. That's gonna be too much fun. Anyway, I ain't. Should have had three of them. I know I wouldn't do it. I'd have been like, they should have just made a show about her. Come on, girl. What are you doing? Teach the world, girl. Teach the world.
Well, I can tell you that Egwene will be. Well, Egwene wants to become a green Aja, but other things become much more important, and so she cannot become a green Aja. She becomes something else.
Oh, she does too. I like Egwene though. I like her. I did kind of get like suspicious between the wolf seeming like guy and
oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Because I was like, what's going on? Because it did from the beginning. I kind of felt like he's sweet on her, you know. But I thought it was because he experienced loss and he understood she was experienced. She could possibly be experiencing loss too. You know, when they got lost and mixed
Together.
up, yeah, together. You know, and they were just being there for each other. And I'm like, well, you know, if you think somebody else has lost somebody too, and that's your bond, and then they see each other again, I could see them kind of getting connected. But then when he started hearing things in that cave, like little highway between trying to get to wherever they were trying to get. I was like, oh, scandalous.
Well,
and I wonder, is that why he left?
Which part? Hold on, wait a minute. Why he left what?
Because he's with the Knights all the time
now. Okay. So
Nani was not talking. I think Nani was saying something she didn't notice, and it just embarrassed old girl.
Okay. All right. So because the television show kind of skips ahead 3 months, some things between the television show and the books don't exactly line up. I can only tell you from the book's perspective what was happening. So when Perrin left, Perrin actually left with Rand. He also left with Loyal and Matt. So Matt never left them. Remember at the end of season 1, Matt left them. He never left them in the books.
Okay.
And so I think what they're doing right now, part of the 3 months, is they're trying to reconcile, you know, the book from the television show. So I really can't answer, you know, the why behind it. Will Perrin ever embrace his animal desire?
I'd like to see what kind of animals inside of him.
Do tell.
I want to see. Is he a wolf?
Oh, you think that he can become a wolf?
I think he's a werewolf or something.
But anyway, so at least according to the book, he will not become. Well, Perrin will develop more and more senses. He will be able to talk to wolves. He'll be able to talk to more than just wolves, not just wolves. The thing with wolves, though, is with wolves, they're actually able to communicate with him, and wolves are able to read the thoughts of humans. And so while he can't read the thoughts of humans, he can communicate with other wolves, and they will share what they're hearing in the thoughts of humans with Perrin.
That's fun.
It's a good tool to have. It's also why in the episode he was able to see things about what happened in the past.
Oh.
You
I saw
remember
it play out in front of him when he walked into a room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the guy who's playing the part of the sniffer, he's actually two characters rolled into one. Um, the one character we've never seen on the show, which is in the first book that we should have seen in season one. He's actually kind of like he served as a guide for Perrin. He let Perrin know, what he was becoming. Um,
They're the same, aren't they?
in the TV show, he's clearly going to become the same. But in the book, they were two separate characters. In fact, the sniffer in the book, he had no like he doesn't know how he got his gift. He can smell violence in the book. The sniffer can smell violence,
Hmm.
which is a little different. But like I said, there are a lot of different characters in the book, so they probably don't want to pay all those different actors. Will Rand discover Celine is a dark friend?
I think she's dark. I think she's trying to get the darkness to compel him. The darkness compels you. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. She's doing her best to seduce him slowly.
Ooh, it's working, ain't it?
You know, I
You
don't know
started
if I would have been
helping
able to
out.
say no.
Just started tossing her around a little bit more rough. I was like, oh,
You know,
right.
and
I
she
didn't see
she
you like that last time when you was with your Gwen. Now
didn't
you
they
rough.
all just kind of grow up like just and and
now
and,
you
and, and fill out
and now you roughing them up. Like, what is she teaching you?
in the book. She actually meets him. Those that wait gate that they went to. Um, it was in the I think it was the final episode of season one
Mhm.
where they had to walk through, and that was where Matt decided he wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So when in book two, what actually happens is Matt he decides that he's going to leave Perrin and Matt, and he and Loyal are like they just kind of leave. Um, and when they leave, they discover a waygate, and they go into the waygate and they find her. They rescue her, not knowing that she's a dark friend, not knowing anything about her, but
Oh, Celine.
yeah, Celine. And
Mm.
so she was just beautiful. Like she was extremely beautiful. Everything that she said, her words sounded like she was singing, just all kinds of stuff. But Rand was kind of like, nah, stay away, stay away. I know what you're doing. Not I know what you're doing, but I don't want none of this. I'm still in love with Egwene. People from their hometown, they're very, very stubborn. They're stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. Yada yada yada. So he
Sound
wasn't
like
feeling it. What'd you say?
Sound like Monkey.
Sound like Monkey.
Sound like something we know nowadays.
But now that at the time in the book, Rand was like 13, 14 years old. Now these characters are adults, right? And so it makes sense that the two of them hook up.
Mm. Because she is pretty. The casting is good. Everybody's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Even when they're not supposed to be, they're still attractive.
Mm-hmm. They got a nice looking cast.
Except that Red Aja. There's just something about them cheekbones.
They're a little sharp. They're a little sharp. And what is up with her?
What you mean?
I was like, how old is her son? Why does she hate men so much? Like, where did that come from?
Why does Leandrin hate men?
Yeah.
That's a good question that I don't have the answer for.
I can't wait for them to show it because she sure was broken up behind one. And when she said something, my son, I said, damn, how old are you?
But for me, like the question was, if you hate men so much, like it's very clear that she doesn't. That men are just a tool, right? Just
She feels like they're a weakness.
yeah. And so it's kind of like, okay, so if they're weak, if they're just a tool, then why is it that you love your son so much? And if you have a son, then who was it that you were with to create your son?
Weak for?
Yeah.
Is it a weakness you had to have a child? Is it a weakness you have that's attaching you to the child? Is what's weak?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy.
And when did this happen? Because if you're a Red Aja, you're supposed to swear off men. So how did this happen?
It's had to happen before.
Had to have. I'm just like I just need some answers because right now none of it is making sense.
Well, this is also the secrets that Moraine said she would. Moraine, I think, said that she would expose, and it is getting exposed. And the fact that Nani is back from through the gate, when she lost that baby, I teared up because I had a feeling. I was like, that baby ain't coming through that gate. You were just living a reality, or you were living in a realm of possibilities at that moment, and you didn't make a great answer. You didn't make a great choice. And then she ended up coming through. And first of all, I was like, how the hell did they come? Did it light back up? One, two, was it just like, what the hell? How important are you? You know, like how significant are you? And why did you have to lose that child for you to be impact? Like, because it had to have some type of impact. Man, she sure chose land in that dream, didn't she?
She
Over
did.
reality. She
She did.
saw the gate flicker, was like,
I mean, what would you do?
shit. I was married because I felt me. Fall in love, baby. Go through the gate, don't look back. Be like, what was that? I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay right here with mine. Like I'm still living in my damn dream. What you mean?
Well, no,
She had them.
in
She
that
had
dream, it
the
would have been your
future.
husband, right? In that dream, it would have
Yeah,
been your husband, right?
yeah. It was her dream. That's what that she was living her dream. I'm like, hell yeah, I would have chosen to go back and fight with you bitches or live the life. I'm gonna live the life with y'all. I was like, there's got to be a deeper meaning to her having chose the life and then having to get up out of it. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Lord,
so in the book, in the book, it almost happened exactly the way that we see it on the
mm,
television show. When she went through the third gate, when everybody was dying, she realized what was really happening.
like this
Um,
couldn't be reality. Like this can't
right.
be what it is.
Well, like right before everybody was about to die, she sees the gate. I'm talking about in the book. Right before everybody was about to die, she sees the gate, and so she basically has to decide: do I go through the gate or do I defend the people that I love? And so she decides to defend the people that she loves. When they all die, she's like, hold up, right? Clearly this wasn't reality. I want to open the gate. Now in the book, no one is supposed to be able to open the gate. Once the gate disappears, no one is supposed to be able to do it. But she was able to do it. In other words, they're telling us just how powerful Nynaeve really is.
Yeah, because her little Gwen did not do that. You hear me? That wasn't
Mhm.
her. I hate to say it. And doesn't her new little friend pretty much show like tell her you're being jealous
Yeah, yeah.
before she even went up missing? It's like,
Hmm.
you're being jealous that you're not as powerful as Nani, even though Nani saw something in you and thought you should come. You should be a
Hmm.
part of this too. Like you might want to just be okay with the fact that Nani's powerful
Hmm.
and accept that.
Hmm.
Like, it wasn't her. So the fact that Nani was able to come back through, first of all, relieved me because I was like, whoo, I just didn't want her character gone already. I was like, I like that smart mouth ass. She can't leave.
She ain't going nowhere.
I
She
was like,
is
I
not
like
going anywhere.
but when they had her, she had me in a chokehold when she tried to bring that baby through that gate. I said, Lord, that baby coming. And when she was crying, I was like, Lord, she felt like that was real. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but she wasn't gonna be able to protect the baby anyway, so it might as well not been real. But she
Well,
would never get land the same again, though.
since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and like really dive deep. Will Nynaeve be stronger than Moraine was?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't even need to read a book for that. Yeah. That's why the red tried to sink her claws in her. If I hope Nani don't want to be red after this stuff. Because you had me go
That's a
through
good
that
question.
damn gate. You knew damn well I wasn't ready. You knew I was gonna pick that man. You knew I was gonna pick that man. Had his baby in my dreams. Girl, you stay away from me. I get lost in the universe playing with your ass. That's how I feel about the red. Had me all out here with my nose wide open, looking for land out here in my imagination. Get me stuck in a
So,
delusion.
at what point did you realize that it was when she went through that first time after she picked him? What point did y'all realize that that was also part of the test, that it wasn't quite over?
At
Um,
the end of the episode,
yeah,
I
that's when you
almost
realized at
broke
the end
down
of the episode.
crying. I was like, oh, I was like, she didn't know that was a test.
Well, I thought it was. I thought that was a test when she picked him. Until I started saying, "Well, okay, so now what's going to happen?" And then when it clicked for me when she started to have the same experience that she did, when it was the same experience for her as being a mother and then having her home attacked, et cetera, et cetera. That's when the test.
It's almost like
Oh, you
what.
talking about when she went through the first one?
No, I think he means how it played out.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. Um, when I read the book, so I read the book, the second book. So reading the book, I was just like, hold up, wait a minute. This is a complete departure. What am I watching?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like, man, they like completely changed this like 100%. So I was like really really invested, like trying to figure out like what were they gonna do, and it like nothing made sense, nothing made sense at all because I knew that was not how things were supposed to play out, and so when they started showing more of what her life was like, that's when I was just like, this is she's still in that, whatever you call it. She's still in it,
Realm.
the realm, right? So that was when I realized, things weren't what they were looking like.
Let me tell you, she was living a little happy life, wasn't she? And then I kind of took it as she was just never meant to have that. And no matter what realm you were going to choose, you were still going to have to face these things that are coming because they're coming.
I did too. That's exactly how I took it too. Is that even though she wants that, and not to say that she and what's his name, Lynn, can't be together, but maybe they can't have exactly the life that she's envisioning because of the burden of the power that she has, right?
And the burden
And
of the things going on around her, like the darkness
correct.
is coming, whatever
They
this
don't have
thing
the
is.
luxury of that right now because there's too much
And
stuff going on.
I remember Moraine kept telling her that in the first
Right.
season. She kept telling her, like, this isn't about you and what you want or what I want or what any of us want. This is what is.
Mm.
And maybe that'll be that test might have been the only thing that's finally gonna make her realize, like, this is why I gotta be here. Like, this is what my life has got to be.
Can I just say, all of season one, I was irritated. I was irritated by three of them. I was irritated by Nynaeve. I was irritated by Rand, especially Rand.
Me
I
too.
was I was irritated by Matt. It was, well, maybe to a lesser degree Matt, um, only because it was like, y'all,
Matt
this is
was
your
taken
reality.
for the end,
Right.
yeah.
This
They,
is your reality. You
Point
got
back
to
up,
adapt to
no,
what's
you're right.
happening. Yeah, and all y'all keep doing is complaining. Like, that's some childish ish. Like, get over it and
It seemed
get
like
with the
only
program.
Gwen was with it.
Yeah, because she liked that. Number one, she liked the idea of leaving her hometown. She thought of it as an adventure. And then, also to be told that she might one day become the Amerlin seat.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was appealing to her.
Mm.
It's like they
At
were
least
sticking
he
their
was
head in the
so,
sand, so to speak. Like they were ignoring
yeah.
the reality because they basically were selfish. They were only concerned about their view of what they wanted and for their life, and they couldn't accept the fact that they had gifts and they were chosen for something better, or maybe not
Bigger
better, but bigger. Right.
and
But if you
more
think about
important,
it, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
something more important.
Right.
Yeah. But if you think about it, that is in keeping with the personality of the people of their hometown. Like,
Mm.
they were secluded, they were away. It was like, this is not like Trollocs don't ever come here. What are you talking about? We've been here all these years. Da 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 da. That's not our life. That's that happens over there. And so because they were so secluded, they could have that mindset.
Right.
Mhm. Question for you all: are the Sedai really the good guys?
So I'm kind of in between. I think that there because we recognize that there are factions within the Sedai, right? So I
That's
think
bad.
that there are some noble with factions of magic users within the group, but I also think that there's some that are power hungry and that are maybe a little less noble. So far as it seems, kind of gives you sort of that same vibe that Snape gave in Harry Potter to go to use the reference from that world, right? Everyone was convinced he was the bad guy. He was the bad guy. He was the bad guy until the end when it realized the truth is a little bit more complicated than just basically good and evil, right? So I think that this
But
is the
what
same,
is good and what is evil?
right? In this world, it may take a little bit of both in order to get um, an ideal outcome, right? There may be a little bit of both, and I think when we realize the backstory of the Dark One, so to speak, I think that may be a little bit of a flip, but I don't know because I haven't read the books, so I'm not really sure. If it's similar to another show, Shadow and Bone,
Mm.
if any of you guys watch that, and there's how
Mhm.
that play between the dark and the light, the dark one and the light one. Well, ultimately, the heroine in that show, as of right now, she has a little bit of both in order to she had to embrace a little bit of the dark in order to save her family. So I don't know.
We've got questions and we know you have answers, so make love to our senses in the comments. Drop them down below. So who do you think are working for the Dark Friend?
Definitely the old chick
Oh,
that's with Rand. That old girl went with Rand. I think she's definitely working with the dark friend.
So you mean Celine?
Celine. Um, and I think eventually we're going to see some of the Aes Sedai, one of them working with the Dark Friend as well.
I think it's clearly the Reds.
I don't know if the Reds are completely evil or not. Because remember in the fight between Ninwave and
Nynaeve?
Naviv, and I'm horrible with these names on the show.
Me too.
And,
I've been saying
and,
all around shit.
and Lilandra, she was kind of explaining her point of view, and when
Who's
she was
Lalanda,
explaining,
baby?
you know what I'm talking about, the blonde
No,
headed chick with the red one.
Oh, the
Leandra,
Hey,
Leandra,
I thought it was
Leandra,
the money.
Leandra.
That's why I
We're
call
not
them
going
them
to move on
reds.
to the
I
rest
don't
of
even
another
say her
show. I don't even know
name.
what show
I just
that's
call
Them
on.
dirty reds, them dirty reds.
them red. That's all I got. Don't you be asking me to remember her name, goddamn it. Cheekbones. Come on, cheekbones. In that red. She know that. I ain't never seen so many characters for me to follow in all my damn life.
Me either. It's hard.
And then
I
they
can't
got
keep up with
separated.
all
I
of
said,
them.
oh, they don't never want me to remember who the hell they talking about or who they talking to.
Every time I'm watching, every time I'm getting a few minutes into the episode, I gotta think, okay, who is this person again? What's their connection? And then they keep flipping to other aspects of the world that we haven't seen, like in the third episode of the second season. They introduce this other queen and all these people, and there's the dark one right next to her, and everyone knows who this is but us.
And I'm like, they look like I said that too. So who the hell are they?
Correct. What is okay? But yeah.
They got powers like everybody else. The ones who have powers in their mouth.
Let me take it back for a second. So real quick, so Corey said not all of the red Aja are working with the dark friend.
Okay.
But I can tell you this: Leandra is considered a black Aja.
She be wearing a black ring too.
So
I can see why, because she has a little bit of both. Her power comes from anger as opposed to wherever the others' powers come from, and I think she's tapped into those dark emotions a little bit. So.
Well, it's not about anger. The anger doesn't make you a black Aja.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they haven't explained that yet to us in the show.
No, not in the show. Not in the show. But I can tell you that Leandra is a black Aja, and she's also over the red Aja.
Oh, so she's not even red, even though she's wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need to talk about that. They need to get into it.
They do need to get into it.
But yeah, they need to get into it because I'm like, hold on.
She's one of the more interesting characters of the show. She really is.
Yeah, she wears a black ring. She a rat too.
Expound.
You're not a fan.
You're trying to tell on Marraine. What's that? Blue? What's blue name?
Did you say Marraine?
Marraine?
Moraine.
There you go. Come on.
She's a rat.
We'll call her Blue.
Why is she a rat?
Well, she up here trying to expose Blue for everything she's not saying it like a soldier. Blue say, I can't lie, but damn it, I can decide not to talk. I said, oh, she's trying to be bold with the shit.
So you and I have different opinions on Moran's intentions and Cheekbones' intentions. See, I feel that Moran has a lot of secrets and things that she's keeping inside, and if she would kind of let more of that out, then more people can kind of know what's going on. And she's chosen to keep the Aes Sedai
Well, her homie never friend said no.
So check this out. So the Aes Sedai in general, they don't want the Dragon Reborn to do anything. They want to take his powers from him. That's their whole, like, all of the Ajas, like every last one of them, they want to take his powers from him.
Whether he good or bad?
Whether he can set things straight or not, because they're afraid that he might make it worse.
Okay.
But what if he makes it better? See, that's where I'm not.
Well, Moraine. Okay, Moraine. She did. She did let the dragon go.
Yeah.
Without killing him.
Correct. So that goes back to what Erica, you and I were talking about earlier. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, how the previous Amyrlin seat, like before she died, she had that vision, and she and the current Amyrlin seat, the queen, they decided that they were going to keep that a secret because they want the Dragon Reborn to set things straight.
Oh, okay. So
but it's just the two of them. It's just the two of them. Oh, nobody else knows.
That's why she won't tell anybody, because she don't know what they're gonna do.
And they don't know who to trust.
I forgot that. Okay, well that makes perfect sense.
And the truth about the Black Aja is they could come from any of the Ajas at all. Like, it doesn't matter your color. Anybody can be part of the Black Aja. So there are people in the blue, there are people in the green, the brown, the yellow, the white. They don't know.
And black doesn't necessarily mean good.
So, okay, so the Black Aja doesn't exist within the White Tower. It's kind of like a secret society.
Oh.
A real powerful
Aes Sedai.
Because I've been caught on to the fact that her ring don't match her whole outfit. I was like, did anybody else notice hers? Like everybody else is, if you're green, you think it's green. If you're blue, you think it's blue. Hers is black.
So this brings us back to, are the Aes Sedai the good guys or are they the bad guys? Because if if a male magic user can bring balance, if the dragon can bring balance uh, to the world, so to speak, and they don't care whether or not that can happen or not, they don't want a man with the power, then
How good or not?
yeah, right. How good are they? And I
How
don't
good?
think,
How good are the red Aja?
no, in general, just
How good are the
Aes
eyes
Sedai
in
in
the
general. Yeah, if their main purpose is to keep um, Dragonborn from being from ascending into and claiming his rightful power, etc. Even
whether you
though,
good
yeah, even though he could potentially bring a balance and bring good about the world, are they really the good guys?
So this is what I can tell you from the book. The Aes Sedai tried for 300 over 300 years to males. I forget what they're called. They're not called Aes Sedai. They're called something else. They tried to get them to be good or whatever, and they could never figure out how to do it. And because they could never figure out how to do it over those 300 years, they figured that it just couldn't happen.
Hmm. Yeah, wash my hands with it. Sorry, guys.
We just gonna kill
Y'all,
y'all. We
y'all,
gonna-
you know we just gonna strip you.
They,
What you
yeah,
gonna
they call it gentling. They wanted to gentle as many males as possible.
do?
Interesting. Hopefully, we see that in the story. I'm sure that probably won't be this season. It'll probably be the next season. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's
that.
not gonna be this season for sure.
Corey, I know this was something that you wanted to talk about. Will the Emmons Fielders come back together? Will all five of them come back together?
So I think that I'm not sure. Much like other companion stories, like in The Witcher, they separate all the time, and they eventually do come back together, even though it's a much smaller group. I'm not exactly sure if, as of right now, if the five will be a group. I think that they will at some point in time, but I think that's going to be after several things happen. Like some more things are going to have to be revealed, and I think there's going to be some sort of reckoning, so to speak, some major catastrophes or some major destruction, and then I think the five will be back together as a whole, because they will have gone out, they will have found themselves in different sects, different groups, understand their power. Some may be dead, some may not be dead, and they'll come back together with all the knowledge, etc., that they've learned, and that will in turn help them to defeat, and what. So I'm not exactly sure, but that's my personal thoughts. I don't know if y'all are
Erica?
going to like this.
Erica?
I think they're gonna meet as enemies.
Ooh, interesting.
They're gonna be enemies. We're getting the backstories on how people knew each other before they were enemies.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
what
So this is what I can tell you. I can tell you that Egwene does become the Amerlin Seat. She becomes the Amerlin Seat, and part of what she does is she roots out the Black Aja. That's what she becomes known for, rooting out the Black Aja. So if she roots out the Black Aja, that means that she's basically on the side of Rand. That's what that tells me. Um, and based on what we see, Perrin is gonna always have Rand's back. What I'm more conflicted about is Matt. I don't know what's gonna happen to Matt.
Doesn't he die in the book or something? His story is different in the book than what's being told on the small screen right now, right?
Well, his story is different. I am only on book 2, and so far Matt is in the thick of things. He is, with the exception of like maybe about 4 or 5 chapters, he's right next to Rand the entire time.
they changed that then.
Hmm.
So you can't even follow his no more.
Yeah, his entire story is completely different. For instance, the young lady who is in the cell right next to his, that never ever happened,
Hmm.
or at least based on where I am in the book, that doesn't happen. In fact,
How many
in
books are there?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
How many books are there?
Ooh, there's like over 10 books.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, yeah, there are over 10 books. So right now, like I said, like where Rand is right now, based on what we're looking at, um, Rand, loyal, Rand and loyal, they go everywhere together. There will not be a time where Rand and loyal are not together. So that's another departure, right? Matt, and Perrin. Well, actually, all of them, all the males, they go out looking for the Harnavalier and the dagger that Matt has, or that Matt was carrying. They're looking for it, and so what we're seeing right now in the first 3 episodes, that is a complete departure from the book. So I can only assume that at some point the males are all gonna meet up together. I don't think that we're gonna see a whole lot of screen time between
Who's
all
loyal?
the members of Emmons Field.
Who's loyal?
Loyal is that big ogre.
Oh yeah, I love the ogre. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Say it right. I said, oh,
Oh,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
correct. You are quite right.
yeah.
Ogier. Hmm.
When I put some respect on his goddamn name, I like him.
But I do like Eric. I do like your theory of them introducing their backstories, and they will ultimately. Some of them will become enemies. Some of them will be on the same fight. It's I'm curious to see exactly how it plays out.
Yeah, because
If
I
your
mean,
theory is correct,
words, who you gonna root for when you know their backstory, you know?
right?
And it'll get you going so much better just by just laying the foundation. Just like, look how close they were. Look how they were. Look how they look how they were. So that's how you know it's about to be a setup for some bullshit. Some stuff is gonna happen. I'm
Yeah,
just
I think
hoping.
some major stuff is about to happen.
Hmm.
It's going to kind of shake everything up.
Well, I do know, Corey, you had another question. You wanted to know how old Moraine is.
Right.
Your thoughts?
So I think that she's one of the older ones. Obviously, um, because she was trusted by, according to the books, she was trusted by the previous queen, and basically, what we know in the story, right? That hasn't really been revealed yet in the show. So if my memory serves me correctly, her little behind the scene effort, right? Um, so I'm thinking that in order to wield that sort of influence and trust, she has to have been around for a while. But if that's the case, why would the other Aes Sedai exile her so easily?
Hmm.
She been
That's an
pissing
interesting question.
she been pissing people off. What you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah,
As long
but
as she been around, she been pissing them off that long too.
yeah, but she's also very powerful. So
Why would you want to get rid of your most powerful weapon?
Yeah.
right, right, or even someone that can train the most powerful weapon. If you think that you have a new weapon right now, someone that can interact with them and train them and teach them and to be equally as powerful. Why keep Crazy Red and let her continue to be crazy?
Right. Getting people killed.
So
Right,
it all goes back to them not understanding what Moraine is actually doing. Like they don't
right.
understand why she's been out in the forest all these years. Like it makes no sense to them. Like what are you doing? What's your point? And so like a lot of people are thinking that perhaps she is a Black Aja.
Mm.
So that's something that's in the back of everyone's mind. They don't have any proof, but that's what they're thinking. But to answer your question, Moraine is about 40.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. When she was helping the queen, she was relatively young.
Okay.
How
Mhm.
old is her little boo friend then?
I would say about the same age.
Hmm.
In my mind, I peg many of them to be, even though their physical features do speak to being in their 30s or 40s. I figure because they're magic users and all the such, that would grant them longer life, and I believe they said as such in the story.
You're
I thought they
you're
was
quite right. You're quite right. It does grant them the more power they use from the one source or whatever it's called. Um, the longer
Crazy
they
Red
live.
clearly old as hell.
What'd you say?
Crazy Red clearly old as hell.
Got to be
Got to
because the
be
sun is old.
Look how old that
right.
child is. I'm like, child,
He
how
was
old
he.
are you?
So that also brings up more questions. Who is older? Are there other people that are older? And all the Black Aja, are they old?
They're
Older
not necessarily
users?
old. Um, but the Black Aja has been around for a while, for a very long while.
Who does the Black Aja work for?
They work for the Dark Friend.
So she is
Interesting.
evil.
So who
Well,
is evil?
Bad Red.
I don't know if she's evil though. I can't say she's evil yet.
Okay.
She's a Black Aja.
Yeah,
So
he's
she evil.
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. He
Okay,
very
so you know what? That's an interesting point. So Corey, you know what? Let me take a step back. Just because you're in the Black Aja, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where your heart is.
okay.
Right. I kind of feel like she was forced into the Black Aja.
There are
Maybe
several people who are forced.
right.
For instance, since we're talking about it, Varane. Do you all know who Varane is?
Which one is
Oh,
Varen?
Varen. Let me say Varen. Varen. That's her real name.
There's 300 characters in the story. Which one? See.
This one
Oh,
right
it's
here.
all pretty.
Oh yeah, I love her.
I like
I
her
love
too.
her. She may be a dark friend, but I love her character. She's no
I don't
nonsense.
think
She's
she's
to
a
the
dark
point.
friend.
She may be though, which ultimately says we don't know who's good and evil in the story yet. I think that's the
But
point. We
she,
don't know who's really good and who's really
that's
evil in the
true.
story.
That's true.
She's in the Black Aja.
Dang
See,
it.
see,
She's in the Black Aja, but let me explain. So she's in the Black Aja only because she was asking so many questions, and because she was asking so many questions, the Black Aja came to her and they were like, "Look, you have a choice. Either you can become part of the Black Aja, or we will kill you." She
Mm.
wanted to live, and so they made her and her warder part of the Black Aja.
that was a unique skill that they had, where she gave him fire to light his sword when they were killing the whatever's they were killing.
Mhm.
In episode 3, I think that was their bond was really cool with that. I don't think we
Yeah.
saw that with Marin and oh boy.
Right?
She also
They
old. Now we know.
what'd you say?
She
Oh,
also
not
now we know.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, she is hundreds of years old.
Mm.
I could see that. She seems to have a master of magic that I don't think any of the others even have. But Marin, it's surprising that she's only 40, considering that she was a really, according to what we've seen so far, you would think that she's the legend that they gave her and also the kind of stuff that she was hundreds of years old.
Well,
But she,
not necessarily. Look at Nani.
that's true. That's true. Also, that's true. Also,
'Cause I'm like, she coming in here blowing people away like that. Then who the hell is she supposed to be?
right. Who is she?
Who we talking about? Varen?
Mm-mm.
Nani.
Ninway. No, Naniva, whatever. That's a different story. Yeah.
Nanive. Is that it?
That's a real question. You want to know who she is?
No, she was
No,
at the village.
she's no.
No,
She's
no,
we know
I
she's
think it
not the
was in the.
villain. She is ultimately the weapon, but we don't know exactly who she's going to be. We don't know. Again, it goes back to I don't think we really know who's good and who's evil in the story. We don't know which way the story is supposed to go. So we're making assumptions based on you know the seasons that so far in the season what we've seen.
If Gwen ends up being the queen of the Aes Sedai, it would be interesting if Nynaeve ended up being dark.
Right.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. Because
Hmm.
maybe this twist of her not being able to have her life the way that she wants turns her against the Aes Sedai even more so, because she's saying it's because of you guys that we have to do all these things, whatever, whatever, and it completely has her to split from,
Okay.
this path.
So Corey, Eric and I, we talked about this a little bit earlier. So what ends up happening is Lan um, becomes the warder of someone else. Um, her name is immaterial. He becomes her warder for a short amount of time because what she's looking for is she's looking for someone who can who who can bond with Lan, and he ends up bonding with Nynaeve.
I could see that. I want that to happen. Do we
We
think
all.
Marin's going to get? I think that's one of our questions. Do we think that Marin's going to get her powers back,
Hmm.
So
like
again, we
full
talked.
use of her powers?
So
I think
again, we
she's
talked
gonna
about
be.
that a little earlier. Not only does she get her powers back, but they're magnified.
Because she's been touched by Rand or the Dark Friend
So
or
she
Dark
gets a
One,
hold
rather.
of an amulet that magnifies that magnifies her power, and she uses that amulet from there on.
We also see it in episode 3 that she still has some inkling of her power because she was able to kind of access some of it, or was that somebody else? It was leading us to believe it was her, but it could have very well been uh, the older lady that you just
I
showed
think it was
us,
the older lady. She was hopefully
the one
thinking.
that's hundreds of years old but doesn't look like it. That was just the
I think she was wishful thinking.
uh,
That was my takeaway. And I was like, God damn.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was like, right? No, she missed it. Oh, it's not hers. Oh, yeah, I was rooting for you, bitch.
Okay, what has happened to her power? Did y'all touch on that?
What happened to who's spot? Moraine's?
Moraines. Why
Oh,
did she lose her power ultimately? And that's a question I have that I don't know if because I wasn't paying attention and I just missed it, but
I think she's
why
just a
did she
small
suddenly
fry.
lose her power?
So at the end of season one, that particular guy that she was battling with, he just took her power.
Mm. Yeah, I
Just that
think
simple.
small fry in the grand scheme of witchery.
Hmm.
She was just all powerful maybe with them, but with him, he was like, girl, get out of here.
Yeah. So Lan was just like, it doesn't make sense. How could he have taken your power? It takes 8 Aes Sedai to take another Aes Sedai's power. And she
Mhm.
was like, that's just how strong he is. Like the magic that he has, like it eclipses any Aes Sedai's power.
Why? Is it because he's a
Because
male user
He's a
and it
dragon,
taps
or
something
maybe the
different?
former dragon.
no, actually, believe it or not, he is not the dark friend. He's not the dark friend. He's just one of the lieutenants of the dark friend.
Oh, because he showed up like he was the dark friend. I'm
And
confused.
there's multiple versions of him though, right? Am I right in assuming that? Like it's all him, but he appears in different places, or is it the same one? Because he was killed in, or so we thought he was killed at the end of that particular one was killed at the end of season one. But he
I
shows
think
up.
he was released.
He
I
was
think
released.
I think the
Oh,
whole
okay.
thing was a play, and they didn't realize until after the fact. That's how it kind of seemed like once he was released, he was like, "Thank you." It's
Hmm.
like you didn't have to choose darkness. It would have been easier if you'd have just chose it, but you didn't have to.
Hmm.
But you released me. That was my takeaway from the beginning of the season too.
Hmm.
That's true.
I was like, "Damn, this about to be some mess."
Hmm.
Because I knew like it couldn't have been that easy.
No, no, definitely not.
Well, we were talking about the fact that there are a lot of new characters in the Wheel of Time. There's another character that is especially important, and right here we're talking about Lord Ingtar. Do you all call Lord Ingtar?
Again, he's one of 3,000 characters. Thank you. All right.
Oh him. Oh hey, yeah, I remember, old boy.
I remember him.
I thought he
He was
was a
he was
soldier
so
though.
pretty.
By the way, did you all watch Discovery of Witches?
So I did. I am still trying to finish up the final season because that show
I
moves
have.
so
I
slow.
want to go watch
It's
it.
good, but it moves so slow. So I need to go back and
What is
finish
it
it.
on?
Really?
Shutter,
It's now on
AMC,
Amazon. It's now on Amazon because I
Okay,
see it all the
Amazon.
time on Amazon. But anyway, so he was in Lord. I mean, not Lord of the Witches, Lord Jesus. I just said the name. What is it?
Discovery of Witches.
Discovery of
Discovery of
Witches.
Witches.
So he was in there, but he played the role of not Dracula, of a vampire.
Yeah, he was one of the ruling council vampires.
Correct, correct.
I forget what they called him.
And to see him in this, I was like, "Whoa, your boy, that's your boy!" I was kind of excited. But anyway, what are your thoughts about Lord Ingtar, and specifically, do you think that he's going to be able to find the Horn of Valir?
I think that he may find it, but I think ultimately it is either going to go one of two ways. It's going to go to the Dark One, either by him stealing it or manipulating it from him, or um, it's going to, one of the Aes Sedai or somebody else is going to find it and it's going to be, used for them. So I think either way it's going to set up use of it to either for the good side being needed because of the Dark One has a massive army and all kinds of people that's fighting for him, or the Dark One's going to use it to have himself have a more larger army in order to attack the Aes Sedai and take over the world or whatever. And it's going to be them between, standing up to a large army or the other side defending with said large army. I think that's personally that's why I think it's going to go.
Erica, your thoughts?
I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think
Expound.
he's gonna get it at all. I don't think, but I don't know that much about his character either. I think I'm just being introduced to him. I didn't think he was such a heavy hitter. I just remember him like at the end of the first season, but I don't think he's
Right.
gonna.
So, some backstory on Lord Ingtar. So, he is from I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. From Shanawa,
Yeah.
whatever that town. He's from that town. But he's a nobleman. But his backstory is this: he was once a dark friend.
Oh, okay.
He is no longer a dark friend.
Oh, that's
I
different.
wonder how he was just let go like that.
That's what I
You're
don't know. That's what I don't know. That's what I don't understand. But
not evil enough to be my buy.
do you remember that particular scene where Perrin was just like, "How can you bury him? You know what he did. He killed so many people in your hometown. Just burn him. Why are you burying him?"
Right.
That explains why he has like this ambivalence about him. Like he was part of it, right? He was kind of caught up in it, but no longer. And so now he could see how someone could be swept into it so easily.
Well, that's good to know. Got me about the people he's on my radar now because I didn't think too much about his character.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. All right. So this was just a question that I had, just for us to talk about. Who really runs the White Tower? Is it the Amerlin seat herself, or is it the Red Aja?
I think it's a mix of both, but I think in this current right now, I think it's the Red Aja. But I think when ultimately when it changes, it's going to be the queen who's going to rule it. And I think that's going to cause more tension within Aes Sedai.
I still think it's the Blues.
Why do you think the Blues?
Well, aren't the Blues still in control right now during this season? Even though they haven't brought her up. Oh,
No,
she's not.
it's the Amerlin. So the Amerlin seat is not part of any group.
Oh, oh, I think it's the Emmeline seat. I think they still on that sneaky stuff.
Okay, okay. So y'all remember in season one where they kept saying the Amerlin seat is slowly losing her power,
Right.
Mhm.
and so
That
I just Court.
I think that it is. I think it's not the queen because I ultimately think that they're not listening to the queen anymore because there's all these other agendas. There's all these other facets within the within this group now, and I think that I don't think it's the queen anymore. I just don't.
Okay,
That's part
Okay.
of the problem.
probably.
I
Which is
really,
kind of wild.
I really don't have an answer. I really wanted to know. I see how the Amerlin seat is losing a lot of her power. I also see how, because of trickery, because of subterfuge, I see how the Red Aja is getting their way all along the storyline.
Hmm.
And so I don't know. I don't.
And I just
Red,
remember
she
something
black.
too, and you brought this to mind is that the Emerald Seed is actually not a. She's not. She does have power, right? Or she does not have power. Clarify that.
So what's supposed to happen is the Amerlin seed is supposed to be the most powerful of them all.
Okay.
But Moraine, she resisted being placed as the Amerlin seed. She like hard. She went to bat. No, and then they said, okay, well, if you're not the Amerlin seed, then you have to be over the Blues. No,
Hmm.
I don't want to. And because and part of their thinking was because she was the most powerful, she had to be out there to find Rand, and she had to be with him in order to basically save the
Train
world.
him. Hmm.
Not just train him, because I don't know if the show ever really talks about this, but no Aes Sedai can train the male counterpart. Can't happen.
Okay, so they haven't really, yeah, they haven't really talked about that, and maybe they're going to bring it up and they're going to talk about it, and that's why. But you also saw how Rand is kind of seeking out other male users of his own to try to get them to teach him how to control the power. They haven't explicitly said that they can't train him, but he's seeking out other male users anyway, just to try to, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe they'll bring it up. But there seems to be a lot that they haven't talked about as of yet.
Yeah. Um, Corey, because I was wrong about the time. Um, I know I originally said 6:30. Um, but I guess I was excited and I was just like six, six, six. Do we? And Erica, I don't know how much time you have, but do we want to go over the questions that we originally started with?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
you mean
start.
like go over them again?
Uh huh.
I'm hungry.
You
I'm.
want?
Yeah, we don't have to. We don't have to go over the questions. We can. We can.
I
We
thought
can
it was
kind of.
at 6:32 when I saw his text message. I hopped on. That's why when you said 6:30, I said I knew I wasn't tripping. I was like,
Because I had went and took a nap, and I was like, when I got up, I looked at my phone. Oh wait,
yeah, I just hopped on because he said 12 minutes. I don't even think it was 12 minutes yet.
no, it was just 12 minutes. It wasn't even 12 minutes. I was like, oh shoot, I need to hurry
I
up.
said, is it 12 minutes? Yeah, but
Obviously, you like this show.
yeah,
I
let's see.
enjoy the show. It's a good
I
show.
did.
Let me just throw my dig at interview. I'm interview with the vampire Mayfair. Well, Mayfair witches more so. Uh, they go into this show using magic. You have no
Yeah,
question. This is a show about magic. They such a contrast to some of the things that we talked about with Mayfair. I'm just gonna leave it there.
yeah, all kind of good witchery going on. It pulls you right on in,
Right.
with the witchery. Please, somebody give me the witchery up front so I see what I'm watching. And they little relationship dynamics of somebody's interesting. I said, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
They
what kind of
are
new
very
age
interesting.
world y'all talk about?
She's talking about the Green Aja having those two men.
Yes. They,
I said,
the other thing that I was really pleasantly surprised is that they seem to have no problems with other in this show. Like there's
mm-hmm.
different types of relationships. There's sex. There's all kinds of different ways in which different groups of people, interracial or not, are coming together uh, in the show, and it's good to see. It's good
And
to
it
see
makes it
that.
seem natural.
It
It's like,
does.
oh, it's no big deal. This is just like everybody lives different, and it's
Right.
like addressed like that. And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
that's nice. Even with these polyamorous,
Maybe they limit everything.
I said
Limit
she got
everything.
up two of them. You better teach us the white girl. Why ain't she doing all that?
I told you in the book, it's really three of them. She got three.
I said they knew we wasn't ready. I wasn't. I Lord, I'd have been like, girl, that's a whole lot of in this man.
I
You
got a
know
question
what I'm
before
saying?
we go. Do we think let's do criticisms. I mean, there's not a lot to criticize the show. It's really well done. One criticism that I have of the show is that because there's so many characters, they kind of just throw them at you, um, and you don't really get enough time to really understand them. But I don't. There's only so much you can do, though. It's a criticism, but I understand why it is the way that it is. But I think that it's a lot that they've already thrown at us, and we're just in season 2, midpoint of the show. In this season, that would be one criticism that I would have.
Their names is mine.
Yeah,
Baby, them
it's
shit is hard. I said, who? Oh,
it also goes to with the fact that there's so many people, and it's not like Becky, Jim, Tom. It's Nineveh and all these other things.
Lorene and Marine.
New wave.
England. How I'm supposed to know that's England? I
Right.
was, I
I
was
thought her
reading
name was
that name. I
Egwene.
was
I
joking,
thought her
but
name
you
was
can have
Egwene,
me
child. I've been
confused.
calling her Egwene at home.
I was sitting up
Even though
there
they said
reading
her
that
name, I've
she
been calling her
hiding like
Egwene.
iguana.
We're
They
gonna
need to
need to
think
do a
about
cheat
that.
sheet on the names. I mean, 'cause.
I need to start with the names that I can switch to right quick.
So I'm gonna find it. There is one. There's a
And main
glossary.
characters.
There's
Send
a
me a list
glossary.
of
Got
There's a
it.
glossary in the
I'm gonna
books. When he wrote the books, he wrote a glossary so that people could follow.
flip back and be like, hold on. I
Mm-hmm,
just read this name twice, but I thought it was a whole different person.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
A couple times I stopped and was like, I'm
mm-hmm.
gonna have to watch this other episode again because they done said 7 names.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't
don't
remember
remember
the
the first
people.
one.
Who are these other 3 people?
I don't remember the first one. Who?
I completely skipped. I completely forgot about the chick that Rand is with, Celine, whatever her name is. I when
Celine.
she first came on screen, I was like, "Who the hell is that?" And I was like, I had to think back. I might have to go back and watch some parts of
She's
season 1.
actually important. She's an important character.
I know. I'm based off of her, interactions with him. I figure that she's trying to steer him towards the dark. Um, so I mean, we'll see.
Mm-hmm,
Trying to
mm-hmm.
wrap them devil legs around his waist and seduce him. That's
And
what
she
she
can't be
doing.
doing that because he don't have full control of his power. He burnt down the house in the third season, in the end of the last episode, just
Woke
from
up
Well,
dreaming.
just from
well,
dreaming.
I
well.
mean, I guess
We
it would
could
be.
we could say she burned him.
He put the voodoo on that man. Told him I ain't scared. Ooh.
She mixed up something in that red sauce she gave him.
Look, I say she got that man coming in there grabbing on her. He wasn't grabbing on her like that at first, Corey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm, he
He wasn't
wasn't.
grabbing
No,
on the man like that. I said, she next time she see him, yeah, she ain't got no
she
weapon.
no, she did this, and I was like, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Take
it
me
was
home to
all over
glory.
with. It was all over with.
I said, damn, girl.
And then he said no.
Tricks.
Damn, this boy got willpower.
He does. He does.
Sometimes when he come in there gripping her up, I say, see, that's the problem. You're learning how to grip people up. Ain't nobody told your young ass. When you get back to Igwin, don't
And
you
you
go
start
spreading that devil love on her. When you grip
you start gripping her in that same sort of way.
Oh,
She's
did
not
you
gonna
say devil
understand.
love?
She ain't gonna understand where that
her,
come
the
from.
shit you learning from these dark tempers. And then just gripping her up and think she all good with it. You don't know she gonna like all that. You out here learning. The streets is raising them now. You see what's happening? I got jealous for Igwin. Now the streets got his nose open. He gonna try to bring that nose back home, and then what she gonna do? She gonna fall
she
off
gonna
into the streets
she
too.
gonna
That's how
adapt.
they get.
She gonna adapt. That's what she gonna do. She gonna
That's how they
adapt.
get you. I say he can't teach him all that. Celine, damn it, you ruining a perfectly good man.
I might have missed this. Are there any male relationships in the show? I feel like there are, but I
Yeah,
don't quite remember.
yeah, but
It's been so long since I watched season 1, though. I don't remember.
it's not a 100% male, but the polyamorous relationship.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
So the
yeah.
white guy was just like, I fell in love with the black water, but well, the black water fell in love with the green Aja.
And he was like, I don't care.
That's right. That's right. See, it's too many names. It's too. Yeah, it's been a minute since I watched the first season. I might go back and rewatch the first season.
And that and what the green would say,
The more the merrier.
y'all let.
The more the merrier.
She said, she said, give me all that. I don't care. I said, damn. Teach them all the ways. So it's like, yeah,
But Egwene wanted to be a green Naja. She
that's what
wanted
I
all of
thought.
that too. She
She
wanted
did. She
all of
wanted
that
all of
too.
that.
Why she won't be green? Yeah.
She did, and she did.
You looking up to her too. I said, "Oh Lord, you trying to teach her." Look, but you know she liked the other guy too. That's why I said I think Gwen liked the other guy too.
What other guy?
The one I think is a werewolf.
The one that's a lion.
Oh, Perrin.
Perrin.
Telling you,
Mm-hmm.
he saw old girl and said, "How you get that to work?"
Do
Gwen,
they
flipping.
do they talk about Perrin more in the books? Like give more of his backstory about
Who,
his
Perrin?
powers. Yeah, he's a little bit
Yeah,
different,
yeah, yeah.
Look,
Perrin,
and they've
Perrin
kind of
was
glossed over
significant
him in the
in
story.
book one. In book one, he was significant.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think in book two, less so. Which is why I don't think they've been like really focused in on him. Like I don't at this point, I don't know how or why he's going to become so important to the Wheel of Time. Same thing with Matt. I don't know. I can't see it right now.
Right. I feel
all I
that
know,
Matt's going to be. I think I didn't read the book, but I feel like it's going to be completely different. Like I don't know. He's going to be a help or he's going to be a huge hindrance because he's just trying to find his way. And whoever takes him in, he's a little lost puppy now. Whoever takes him in is who we going to go with.
I think that Gwen is trying to figure out how she can get not Matt. I'm sorry, Rand and Perrin on the same level and mindset that the other green eyes. That's why she looked up to her. And
She want to keep her options open. That's what you said.
That's what she wants. She like to live with everybody.
she don't see what the problem is. She's trying to figure out, so how powerful do I have to be to this point? You know what I'm saying? Of like respect and people falling in line. That's all I'm saying. It's from the outside looking in. So she looking up to her. I could tell.
Yeah. Well, y'all, it's been an hour and a half. We've never gone this long.
It's a good show. It's a lot to talk about. It is a good show.
It really is.
Even though it's 11 million people.
Listen, I need to. I don't know. I need to do something. I need to write the name down or something.
Yeah.
Like a cheat sheet.
Well, y'all, thank y'all so very much for watching. Don't forget to kiss the subscribe button, click on the like button, share us on all your social media, nibble on the notification button, and make love to our senses. Come on over to the comments. Y'all have a good one.